You need to communicate. You didn't tell us that you were dropping us. You know, all of us were dropped and we're like, well, what the hell are we gonna do? You cheat. You were a serial cheater. And one day there's gonna be nobody there for you. And I'm gonna be standing there like, I told you this was gonna happen and you didn't listen. Hi guys. This is the third video in my toxic friendships thing. And it is about hope. Now, this might be the last name that I say because I only have two more and I'm not saying their names. But this person, even if she sees this video, she know she a hoe. So, basically, I became friends with her back in first grade. And we were like the two weirdest people. So like we became friends. And we would hang out occasionally and, you know, do things. And she was more of like the girly girl, I'm interested in dating people than like my other friend at the time was, right? So she was like that side of her is the side that I kind of bonded with along with the weird side. Like it was like both of those sides. Because one of those sides I didn't get from one of my friends. So like I needed that kind of like balance between the two of them. So basically, when we got to about 5th grade, she started wearing shirts that, even though we didn't have an upper body because puberty didn't start yet, she started wearing shirts that would show off an upper body if she had one. And I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? She's like, I'm also wearing a push-up bra. Like, she was starting to try to want to get boys' attention. That's a very important part later in the story. She tried to want to get, like, boys' attention. Whether it was negative or positive, it was attention. So, then when 6th grade came around, obviously, we saw each other. And we were just talking, you know, catching up. And I think this is the time that she did. This person can correct me if I'm wrong. But she happened to meet Tori from the Dual channel around this time. And you guys know I'm friends with her. But at first, I hated Tori. And I know she's going to watch this video and she's going to be confused. The reason why I hated Tori was because I felt like she was taking hope away from me. Like, I felt like Tori was way more important to Hope because Hope had come up to me when I was like, why you spend all your time with Tori? Like, I know you just became friends with her, but like, you should try to hang out with your old friends too. And I was kind of telling her, you know, like, I'm still here. I still want to hang out with you type of thing. And Hope just kept saying, well, Tori's cooler than you. Tori is so cool and she has all this stuff and all these experiences. And Tori's just a way cooler person than you. And so we got into a fight there. 7th and 8th. 7th grade, we didn't really talk that much. 8th grade, I liked somebody. And at this point, I was friends with Tori. And Hope and Tori were trying to come up with the plan to get me with this person. Like I told in the bullying 8th grade story. I'll link that down below. They were trying to make up a plan. Well, the night of the 8th grade dance, a lot of stuff happened that I already got into in that video. So watch that video if you want to know what happened. But yeah. Like, so when we got to 9th grade, she was still kind of friends with me, but she started to get a crush on this girl who I'm also friends with, Miranda, and then just like disappeared, like kind of cut me off, but she didn't tell me she cut me off. And I just realized the friendship was over. Now, she was still friends with Tori, and I'm not going to say what happened there because that's Tori's story to tell whenever she wants to tell that. But I swear to God, I'm just going to say she a hoe. If Tori ever tells that story or gives me permission to tell that story, we'll let you know the details, and we'll just say she a hoe. So that's how that ended. And I'm going to say that I'm definitely a lot better without her. Like, I don't need her negativity. I think the main thing with this person is they wanted to find people that they deemed cooler than me. Like, I wasn't cool to them anymore. They wanted people new who they deemed cool or could get them certain things because I wasn't giving them those things, or they wanted to get boys. So they were going to go with the people who would get boys and like, you know, things like that. But so, yeah, but, but yeah, so there's my sister back there. She knows this person. And, yeah, I don't know if she wants to testify to anything about this person.
I mean, you were friends with them. Kind of had a rocky go of it in middle school and high school. And then throughout, like, most of high school, y'all hated each other for some reason.
Yeah, so that'll probably explain it a little better. I would say...
You did apologize, though. Your senior year, when you were both in Greece, she did apologize.
I would say the major red flag would be that she started wearing shirts that would show off her upper body in 5th grade when she had no upper body. Like I said, puberty hadn't started yet. Like, she was wearing shirts and she was talking about dating boys in 5th grade and I want boys to notice me and I'm wearing a push-up bra and like all this other stuff that like was just out of the ordinary and out of the blue for her. She was like a weird kid like me. Like, we weren't thinking about boys. We were thinking about friends, and it's exciting to be moving to middle school and like things like that. Like, we weren't thinking about dating or boys or anything like that. We were thinking about how we would finally be able to use makeup and things like that, but we weren't thinking about boys. And she just comes out talk about how she wants to get with boys. I would say that's the first major red flag, because then you know your friend is just going to be consumed, like boy crazy type of person. And I know that she had started putting boys before me because she was talking about all these boys she wanted to get with. And I felt like I wasn't that important, or if I wanted to get with somebody, you know, I couldn't talk to her about it because it was all about her and like who she wanted to be with. And this happens a lot with me. Like, I get pushed to the side a lot for like people's like who they want to date or whatever. They always act like if they have somebody, it's way more important than me wanting to get with somebody because, okay, like, you've already been with people. Like, it's my first time. Like, let me talk about it. I feel like she just wanted to talk about like her like possibly like liking this person and how she's going to get with this person and we need to help her and things like that. Another thing that was toxic was that she only liked to hang out with certain people. Like, if you weren't a certain type of person or you didn't serve a purpose for her anymore, she would cut you off. Like, you were only there for basically a limited number of time. And when you stopped serving a purpose for her, or you didn't have anything for her that she could really use for like the purposes that she wanted, she would cut you off so quick. Because I had known her for a longer amount of time, I didn't really get that from her, but I saw a lot of people that did. And I was like, hey, don't you think you're being kind of rude? Don't you think you're being kind of harsh? And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, she just pretended she didn't know. Another thing is when you tell somebody that you've been friends with for a long time, they find out that you're hanging out with someone you just met more. That's fine, like whatever, as long as you space out the time with the person you've been friends with for a while. But you go and talk to them and you're like, hey, like, I know you're spending time with all this person, you really like them, but I also want to spend time with you. And you're just talking to them normal, like, hey, like, I'd like to spend time with you too. Like, I'm still here, I'm your friend. And what's toxic is if they end up saying to you, well, I'm hanging out with this person because they're cooler than you. Like, basically just saying how they're better than you in every way, like basically telling you that you're boring or you don't serve the purpose for them anymore. Like this new person gives them so many new experiences that you weren't giving them, and they were just kind of getting bored with your friendship. Like basically it had been going on long enough and things like that. But the main thing that she had said to me was, Tori's cooler than you. Like Tori's like kind of like better basically. And I'm sitting there like, I've been friends with you longer. Shouldn't I be better than Tori? Like what is so great about Tori? That's why I kind of started to hate her for a little bit, because I was like, what is so great about this Tori person? Like, why is she so important to you? And I'm like playing second fiddle to this girl that I've never met. Obviously, Tori and I are cool now. We're friends. But at that time, I was very territorial because I only had 2 friends. So I was very territorial of my friends. Then I would say the next thing is, when we went to the 8th grade dance, they were trying to help me get with someone. Obviously, that was their main, like, trying to do that type of thing. But when it got to it, I feel like she kind of got bored of it halfway through the night. She didn't want to deal with it anymore. So, like, whoever I said for my friend in that story and, like, Tori, they were still trying. Like, they were still trying to make me have a good night, trying to help me get through it, things like that. But I feel like Hope just kind of lost interest. She was kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, if he doesn't like you, let's just forget about it. And, like, she was trying to be a supportive friend. Like, let's just forget about it. But she was pushing my feelings to the side. And I feel like I wasn't being listened to. And my feelings weren't being validated. And I was like, listen, like, I just got a heartbreak. Like, I'm upset. Like, I don't want to just dance it off and forget about it. Like, I want to talk about it. I want to get these feelings out. And I feel like she just didn't want to listen to it. And then on Twitter, like, she was being kind of, like, people were saying they saw her being kind of, like, taking his side instead of her friends, which is me, like, taking his side and saying, well, he was perfectly right and not wanting to, like, do anything with her, dance with her, be with her or whatever, because she's kind of, like, annoying at times. And, like, they were saying that she was saying stuff about me that wasn't, like, outright, like, she's annoying or anything. But she was saying things that were kind of, could be taken rude. And she said, and I talked to her about them, and she was saying how they were taken out of context and things like that. Or I talked to other people who, like, knew her and were saying, I think it was other people, and they were saying that, oh, well, I'm just reading these things out of context. Everyone's taking it out of context. That's not what she meant. But now I'm thinking, how would they know that, right? So freshman year came around. Now, at the beginning of freshman year, we would still talk to each other. We were still friends. I had a huge group of friends, and we were still friends and, like, explaining that and that whole thing. But then she started hanging out with someone else in the group. I'm not going to name their names because I was friends with them in 8th grade, but then they started to hate me for no reason. I see a pattern of people just trying to hate me randomly. And, like, this person who was friends with them, Hope became friends with them. And because that person hated me, I think her spending time with them, she also started to see their reasons why they hated me and hated me too. But she didn't tell me we weren't friends anymore. Like, I just figured it out because she wouldn't talk to me at all. But this other person turned her against me. And they both started, like, making fun of me and being rude to me or whatever. Now, I don't know if Hope really made fun of me as much as this other person did, but I'm going to bet she did. So that's a red flag. When you say you're still friends with the person, but yet you're starting to make fun of them, that's a red flag. The last thing that I can think of before we stop being friends is how she was a hoe. I obviously can't tell that story. That's not my story to tell, but this is my story to tell. We were in guitar. We were already not friends at this point, but I'm going to add it in because it's important. We were in guitar, and I had become friends with a band called Silent Society. And she was also friends with the 2 people in the band that I was friends with. She had a crush on the same member of the band I did, the drummer. Congratulations if you're watching this and you know who you are. She had a crush on them like I did. And I have mentioned that I was texting that person to one of my guy friends at guitar because I was like, yeah, I'm texting him, I'm talking to him. And she was getting, like, really jealous. Like, I would look back at her and I could tell she was getting jealous. So then, because she was being petty, like, behind my back. So I got cut off before I was going to finish the video because my storage filled up. Basically, what I was saying was, the story is I was sitting in guitar class with my group of guy friends, and she was sitting in a row behind me. And I was talking about how I was texting the guy from Silent Society. And she liked him and I liked him. So there was kind of like that constant battle at shows for like who was going to get him. And she would kind of rub it in my face when she was talking to him and like vice versa. So I was saying that I was just texting him because that day I just happened to be texting him and she was getting really, really jealous. So I started playing it up like more and more. And the guys wanted to talk about it because this guy was in a band. So it was just kind of like a petty thing and it made me feel good because I was kind of getting back at her. So I know I shouldn't have done it, but it made me feel better in the moment. So, and come on, haven't you guys done something like that before? Anyway, so yeah, that's what I was going to come on here saying. And the next two videos, obviously using code names that I've already thought of. I already have one of them filmed and towards the end of that video. And in the video title, you will see the code name. And I've already used this code name before. Somebody will be making another appearance on my channel. They'll be famous because they're probably going to show up in a lot of videos, and a lot of stories I'm going to tell. Those are videos. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.